here, the Perrys are here. Surprisingly, sounds like everything's going well.
So
No
far,
internet. I think I wrote down need internet, but that's about the only thing that I thought was an issue. What do y'all need today, everybody, Ms. Vanna?
Judge, first I would like to update the court that the department filed a motion to modify because we're not changing anything, altering dad's rights and duties. We are not serving him. Actually, we don't know where he is. The court ordered that child support cease last time. So I did prepare some withholding orders and sent those to the court for both parents. And other than that, unless there's been any changes since the court report was filed, I think we're all good. Brooklyn, is there anything?
No, things are going well. I haven't heard of any issues that have arisen besides just the internet problem. Other than that, things have been going smoothly. It's very quiet. So I suppose that's a good thing.
Do you know if she's still getting money from her dad in her bank account, the $200 or so?
As far as I know, unless something has changed within the last couple of weeks, she is still getting the couple hundred. I think every other week or every week. I can't remember which one it was.
So she's getting a really nice allowance, isn't she?
She is she is getting a nice allowance. I did tell her that it would be good to use part of that money for internet because she is getting quite a good allowance. I will be going to see her tomorrow, so I will see if that has occurred. I don't think it has, but I will obviously encourage her for that. But I do know she's trying to get a job. She has had a couple interviews, so sounds like things are going decently well.
Okay.
Decent well. Okay, good.
No further questions.
Okay. Perry's, what do y'all think?
Yeah, we made a visit. I mean, everything seems to be appropriate there. So she did finish her last class, so she finished the year with 4 credits. So,
and what grade is she going to be in next year?
That will still classify her as a freshman.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's still the issue.
She's a high school. Okay. Well, I think if she's getting all that money from her dad, I think she could definitely help her mom pay for internet. So y'all might want to pass that on.
I even told her mom that when I went and did placement paperwork. So we'll see if that has followed through.
I mean, she'll be 18 next year, and no reason she shouldn't. Oh, that's not her birthday. That was a TMC date. Sorry. I was looking upside down. I'm like, yeah, that's not right. But still, that's a cool day. Yeah, she's going to be 18 anyway. And so she can help, step up to the plate. And I don't think internet, I don't pay for it. So I don't know. It's not one of the bills I pay. I don't know how much it costs, but surely it's not that bad. Where do they live?
In Round Mountain.
Well,
Starlink for the win.
Yeah. Or somebody could call Ingrid Morrison and ask where they get it from their office at Round Mountain or their house, the ranch. Yeah, they got big towers down there. I'm sure that there's some sort of place that they can do that. Okay, Ms. McClure, what does Ms. Ward need?
Well, she loves their dog, and her and animals. She says the dog thought that apparently Carrie came to visit the dog. So I thought that was kind of cute. She said she's thrilled with how everything's going, that she has no requests, that she seems happy, wants to stay where she is. And so if it ain't broke, let's not fix it.
Also, I would like to I kind of forgot about this. It's kind of a big part. She did get a psychiatric evaluation done. They do not do like the medication management. So I'm probably going to have to send her to Bluebonnet Trails or maybe like something like that. Cause I don't know why they don't do that. I thought it was kind of like they have all the services. And then therapy, they are in touch with a therapist, starting individual. And then once things are recommended by the therapist for family therapy.
Cut out.
Oh, sorry. So she is going to do individual therapy, and upon recommendation, they're going to do family therapy too. So that's in the works.
Living in Round Mountain, they're really close to the Phoenix Center too.
That is true.
Might want to call and see, and I don't know how they, every case is different. Everybody does it different, but might want to call and see how they incorporate family therapy, if they do incorporate family therapy. Since it's, that's the closest therapist that they're even be able to find. So why don't y'all look in the
I'll
Phoenix,
look into that.
call Sarah Rucker over there and see what she says.
And Brooklyn, can you circulate the psychological to myself and CASA? It doesn't look through in the court report that she is taking any psychotropic medications. So were any recommended?
They did recommend her to do medication management, but I emailed them and I was like, do y'all do the medication management? And they said, no, they only do the psychiatric evaluation. So that's something I'm going to have to figure out. So,
But did they recommend that? But did they recommend that she be put on any medications?
it didn't say like what medications. It just says like it's recommended medication management, case management, therapy, things like that.
I was like, because it doesn't look like there's any medication to manage at this time. I'm sorry.
Right. No, there isn't.
Okay.
There isn't at this time.
Before
Okay.
she left placement, she was supposed to be seeing about getting on anxiety type medicine.
Yes, and that's
Okay.
why, so she went to the primary care physician. That's why I originally sent her there, as well as getting put on birth control. But because of her, I guess her mental stability at that time, they said that they did not feel comfortable and wanted her to do a psychiatric evaluation with somebody that, is qualified for that. And so that's when I sent her to do the psychiatric eval, and then now I have to find somebody for the other parts.
Okay.
Well, hopefully things have calmed down in her life now versus when she was, when you were setting all that stuff up,
Yes, it's been very quiet.
So maybe we don't need him, the less needed, the better, I think.
I definitely agree.
I
It
agree.
was a lot when she was on a lot of medications. She's
Yeah.
been much better off of the medications, but she does have a lot of social anxiety and things like that. So, whatever is just the smallest dose, at least we could try if she even needs that at this point. She has not mentioned having any struggles right now.
What is her plan, to go to public school in the fall or what?
I don't think so. I think I think at this point, she's gonna stay doing her, if we can get her internet, so she can continue school. I mean, I just remember how big of a hassle it was to even get her at the school. I mean, back when she was in CWAP, she didn't go. So, I think that would be even more struggle, but maybe I'll talk to her about that tomorrow, see if that's even a thought.
I wonder if the littles that there's at least two other kids in the home, aren't there?
3.
3.
Mhm.
I wonder if they go to school around Johnson City.
They go to Marble Falls. I do know that.
I mean, I was wondering, I know the Morrison kids went to school in Johnson City. I mean, I was wondering if maybe, I don't know where it's all zoned down there, if that makes a difference anyway, but a smaller school like Johnson City might be a good call,
I mean, it could be. I think Marble Falls might be something not so good for her since that was where she was not doing well. But yeah, I think they're like right on the lines of Round Mountain and Marble Falls.
Well, I'd say check into that too. And just so we kind of know where we're at on that one. And if there's a bus that comes by there, I'm sure there's plenty. Who knows?
Definitely.
Okay. I was gonna say everything continue. What do y'all think about coming back? Let me see. 8/29. This is so we can see how we go through the summer. Y'all good with that? Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, and that's all everybody agrees to Zoom. So, okay, well, we'll come back in about that's about 2.5 months, right? Okay. Well, y'all, that's the best report we've ever had. Yay.
Thank
Met with Caleb, Joy and Carrie. I think it was last week. I don't remember what time flies. He's a cute kid. And he talks, which is good. I mean, he's had bad internet, kind of in and out, but he's just, he's for a 13-year-old little boy that's never met me in real life before. He's just darling. We did talk about, and I read all the reports. Of course, I talked to him, then I read the reports yesterday. Keep me getting ready for today. And hold on, that must be Miss Asheville. Yeah, she must be having service issues. We talked about,
Judge, is somebody coming in for Carrie or?
Melissa.
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
I'm on this case. I don't know who she got to fill in for her on this case.
Well, you're looking at it. There's nobody else in the waiting room.
Okay.
Oh,
Like-
Natalie, I let Natalie in, but then she went away. Let's see. Is Natalie next case? Yeah, she's on the next one.
And then
What-
Angela Dowdle represents the dad, I think.
Yeah, she's having some internet issues this morning.
Okay.
Natalie, are you filling in for Carrie Ward today? You are? Okay. Okay. So anyway, we talked to Caleb and, anyway, I read the report on why y'all think that that's a possibility that he wants to be moved. And I got that too. I also think it's kind of a bummer that he is in charge of taking care of his little brother all the time. And then he told me the mother gets to see the little brother. But then I read y'all's report. Here's Angela. Read y'all's report, and it looks like see his mom if she tests. So I don't really know what's going on. But blah blah blah. That was long. Why can't we look at the uncle?
So Judge, I think that the department has looked at the uncle. He's currently unemployed. He's got some domestic family violence issues from 2018. And I think Ms. Marquita is able to articulate really well, if you will allow her to articulate why the department doesn't think that that would be an appropriate placement.
Okay. Ms. Austin.
So, like Agata just mentioned, there is some concerns about his ability to be able to provide for Caleb due to his unemployment at the current time. And also the DV with the family violence was concerning. I also spoke with the mom on the case, and she has some concerns about the relationships that the uncle has with herself and her sister that seem to be very, to say the least, trying. And so that's concerning for me.
Okay. I wonder if the uncle would want to maybe let Caleb go for, just a summer vacation, a weekend, something to get away. I mean, would that be, is that concerning to y'all?
I do think that his uncle is very much open to him spending some time with him. I just want to ensure, maybe speak with him more about being able to cover Caleb's basic needs while he's on that visit, if that happens.
Yeah. Well, if Ms. Bennett, Ms. Asheville, what do y'all think about maybe trying to just to let Caleb get out of the house? I mean, it sounds like he's in this little travel trailer, and all I know is when I'm fed, y'all. I don't know. I haven't been there, and bored and just sitting around not doing anything, and I don't know.
From what I'm reading, I think Carrie would be totally in agreement with that. And she also asked me to ask today for a home study on the uncle.
Well, I'm going to order the home study, and then we can at least look at it. Because, I mean, poor last people punted. I think the aunt was okay, but the uncle, and he's not, I don't think he's kin. I think the aunt's kin, and then he punted. And, I mean, I don't think, now y'all, I could be wrong. I don't think Caleb's a bad kid. I don't get that impression. I don't know if he has any issues, any problems. I don't know. So there's got to be family, or have y'all done a CFE or anything, Krista, or whoever? Let's see who's supervisor on this case.
Yes.
Krista.
Yeah, I think we've started to do one. I'm not finished with it yet, but I have started.
Well, anyway, I mean, the mom's not here, dad's in Mexico. I don't get warm and fuzzies that the mom's really going to be doing much. Miss McClure, where is she?
I don't know.
I spoke with her on yesterday.
Okay.
Um,
What'd she say?
that she's been having some issues with her phone. She's been having some
Blah,
issues.
blah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely have some concerns with Caleb spending time with his friends in Marble Falls. He's been getting into a little bit of trouble during after school, but he's been doing pretty good.
Where do they live? He
Marble
tried to
Falls.
explain it to me, and I could not get it.
He lives in Marble Falls.
No, he lives in Kingsland.
Well, yes, Kingsland, sorry, yes.
Yes, he lives in Kingsland. I've been to the home several times.
Kingsland, in like in
Yes.
town.
It's definitely a Kingsland address. I would say it's probably still in the city limits. It takes me about a 1 mile drive to get out, but it's, go this way and short distance and then make a long drive the other way. I would assume it's probably in the city limits. It is definitely Kingsland
What, you know what street it's on?
Drive.
Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
Yep, got it. Where does the mother work? I see her address is Horseshoe Bay. What does she work?
Well, may I speak, Judge?
Yes.
Okay. From what she personally shared with me, she does Uber driving, this kind of driving, that kind of driving. She's just self-employed and she does a lot of this delivery stuff. My understanding is she has been evicted from her house, her address. She's no longer at that address because she's not paid her rent.
Yeah, I'm sure rent wasn't cheap, so that's what I was wondering.
Well, it's really, I don't think it's expensive because it's a very unkept trailer house
Okay.
in a neighborhood. So it wouldn't have been high expensive, but when the husband left her, when Salvador left the home, then apparently she stopped paying the rent.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So that's a big concern. Getting a hold of her is a huge challenge. And now that she's not at that address, I personally went to that address and there's a lot of notices tacked to the door. And multiple eviction notices literally attached to the door. I talked to Salvador about it. Because his name is on the rental contract, rental lease, he got notified as well of the eviction.
See, and I don't know, just what Caleb told us. I mean, the mother's getting to see the little brother, but the mother's not getting to see Caleb. No.
That's not true, Judge. And so I guess, so we do have an order that she will have weekly visits with Caleb unless, and this is regardless if she tests positive or doesn't test positive. And from the adversary hearing, unless he doesn't want to visit, or unless she fails to show up or doesn't confirm the visit within 24 hours. And from what Ms. Marquita had told me, was that Caleb had told his mother, apparently through a text message, that he did not want to visit with her. So she did not show up for a visit and he ended up going. And so there was that miscommunication. Ms. Marquita talked to him about not just saying those things, but talking about his feelings and let's do what really needs to happen. So Ms. Austin is going to be setting up those weekly visits. But if mom doesn't show, then to the CPS office, and there's nothing we can do about that. So she does, she's got weekly visits scheduled, but Caleb did tell her he didn't want to see her. And so she didn't show up. And there was that miscommunication because then Caleb did show up.
See, I mean, kind of like what I'm told, you don't know who's on first. It's crazy.
Right.
What about looking into the Boys and Girls Club in Kingsland for the little one and for Caleb to go during the day and they can have some activities? Anybody thought about that? I don't know how they get there. I don't know if they have a bus or a van or something, but I just, I hate for Caleb to feel like he has to babysit all the time, but maybe that's just what they do. I don't know.
Right. The department can look into it, Judge. However, they can't force the stepdad to enroll the little one.
Right.
And so we kind of don't have a say as to the little one.
I can't remember, Joy, you might remember, but I can't remember if I talked to Caleb about going to camps, once again, the LCRA camp is not far from where he lives. Penallen far, Barbie first weekend in June did skiing with Galilean or however you say it. Is that coming up again? That sure would be fun.
I think that's the one here. So my understanding is the Boys and Girls Club is a long waiting list. However, there's a couple other options that's being worked on. And there's been a little bit of a communication challenge between Salvador and I am so sorry, I should have that note in front of me, who was working on that. In my talking with Salvador, and when I was literally in his presence, he showed me 2 different text messages on his phone. My observation, and I didn't confirm with him, is that he can read English, but he isn't able to write back in English. So that's been a problem. The communication, there's a communication breakdown because English is his second language. He does speak English. He and I converse in both languages, and he and I agree. My Spanish is as good as his English and vice versa. Between us, we communicate very well, but I was under the impression that he can read English, he just is not able to write it, so he can't respond back to those texts in English. So that's a communication breakdown. I know he's very open for the children to go. He's able to take them each day to a setting on his way to work, and then pick them up in the afternoon when he returns from work, and he's willing to do that. And what he shared with me is that the Boys and Girls Club, there's just a waiting list, and they weren't successful in getting the kids kicked into that.
Well, Marble Falls, like I said, last case, I said Marble Falls Parks and Recreation has some camps too. And like I said, that LCRA one is on, at the Nightingale. Their Nightingale place. It's right below, Lookout Mountain, whatever that mountain on 1431 is. Krista?
Your Honor, we did speak to Caleb about going to camp and he was not interested. So we had tried to convince him. I know Carrie had tried to convince him to go to the skiing with Barbie. He was not interested in that either.
See, I mean, some kids just happy not doing it. I mean, I don't understand that, but that's okay. Well, okay. So y'all have the visits with mom worked out. I mean, as much as can be worked out. I mean, she shows, she confirms, Caleb doesn't want to go, shouldn't have to go. Dad's in Mexico. Do we know anything about him?
I know that the department requested a diligent search. Is that still pending, Miss Austin?
Yes, it is.
Okay. We did obtain, Miss Austin obtained the birth certificate from Bell County for him. And so the father is listed on the birth certificate. There's reports that he's in Mexico, but I don't think we really know for sure that he is. And so as soon as the diligent search comes back, we will be requesting a service by publication judge, and we'll keep searching for him. I don't know if Ms. Dowdle has had any luck locating him or speaking with any relatives though.
Okay, I had him as alleged, so now I'm changing him to acknowledged.
Yes, so we did amend our pleadings as well, and we took out the unknown.
And Judge, may I make one comment concerning the uncle? I've had one phone conversation with the uncle. He's very articulate, a very nice gentleman. However, in all my communication with the family, even with him, he acknowledged, he said, I'm unemployed. If I have Caleb, I'll have to get a job so I can support him. So that leaves us with, a kid being left alone again. He also lives in a travel trailer in Fort Worth. Doesn't sound like he intends to do anything except live in Fort Worth. The communication the secondhand communication between the mother and the stepdad and this uncle is, I don't have one positive thing to feel that this would be a good placement for Caleb. And the uncle himself told me there was a 2-year period where he had no contact with the family at all. Currently, he's not speaking to Caleb's mother.
Yeah, somebody said that before you logged on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, Caleb's stepdad, Salvador, hasn't told me anything, in a plus manner about this gentleman. And I was also told by the family that he didn't even raise his own children. He had, I believe, a daughter, and he didn't even raise her. So I'm just thinking, that this young teenage kid really needs some good structure. And I have not seen anything of a negative nature when I visited with Salvador.
Well, what do you think Caleb's problem with that is?
I've asked both of them, and my opinion, and that's all it is that Caleb is being a 13-year-old boy. Because he told me, he said, I'll do what I have to do. I'll say anything I have to say so I don't have to live with him. And I don't know, because I haven't witnessed anything other than Salvador is being a dad. And Salvador is keeping him from his friends because there's twice, in the last month, the police have been called by merchants when Caleb's been with his group of friends. So I think Salvador is wise to keep him from just running loose with those other young people.
Are they stealing?
Well, they were both of the calls were at fast foods or restaurants. One of them, the first story I heard is that they were taking free samples and then they were throwing food around the restaurant and the police were called. And then the other one, apparently they're in there, but they're not customers. They're just hanging out, being rowdy. And these are, young teenage kids that walk in there from their neighborhood and are, making it a challenge for the customers. That's my understanding.
Yeah. Well, sounds like he's going to say whatever he wants to not have to live there. And then he's going to tell us whatever he wants to make us happy too, to try to pull that, so.
That's my impression. That's my
Sucks
impression.
to have rules. Too bad. Don't, that's bad. Ms. McClure, what do you want to say?
My client says she's in the waiting room now. I don't know if that's something.
Too tough.
Got it.
Yes, she is. I'll let her in, but we're done.
I understand.
Yeah, no, she's supposed to be at 9:05, since it was set at 9:15, right?
I think it was 9:30. Yes.
Oh, yeah. 9:30, so, yeah, sorry.
Hello.
Anybody else need anything? Miss Bennett, you're filling in for Miss Ward.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing everybody.
Miss Bennett, I'm talking to you.
Yes. No, the notes say that, like I said, just to request the home study and I guess to tell mom or ask mom that she's there, why she won't take enough drug tests to visit with Caleb.
Okay. Well,
when she can go pick up Mario, the 6-year-old. I guess it's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah, that bothers me.
Yeah, I think that bothers. Anyway, so I was supposed to comment on that, and that's pretty much it.
I mean, why don't we what's the matter with letting Caleb go with for an hour, 2 hours, or how long does the little one go with?
I can't hear you.
You know what? I'm not going to put up with that noise. Now she's muted.
She's
okay.
muted. Okay. I didn't hear what you said, Judge.
They know how long she's able to take the little one away for?
No, Your Honor, but we can probably ask the dad. We'll make sure that we find out.
I mean, Miss Asheville, what do you think about Caleb going with his mother for a little bit, some of the time?
You know what? I would say definitely if you, maybe limit it to 2 hours or 4 hours and make sure both boys are present. And let's say once a week, and give that a test.
And Judge, the department would have to object to those visits. I mean, there were some serious allegations in this case with drug use and the way mother was acting towards Caleb, and we would have to object to unsupervised visits.
But they don't do anything about letting, but the 6-year-old or 5-year-old is safe to go with her?
Well, I don't know if that's confirmed. I think that we'd have to confirm and find out if that's really happening.
I can testify it is because I've witnessed it. Okay. I've been there twice when she drove up returning the young child. So I can testify, yes, that is happening.
Okay.
And I'm sure that's frustrating for Caleb when he doesn't get to go, but the 6-year-old does. That's totally not fair and not his fault.
Now, Caleb has not expressed that, but then, he's a 13-year-old. That's the kindest thing I can say about that.
He told me that. that he thought it was weird that the little one was getting to go and he didn't.
Mhm.
I think he said that.
It is weird. It is weird.
Well, and maybe make it that if he doesn't want to go, that he doesn't go or something,
Could agree to that.
just that if he wants to go. That way,
Okay.
if
What I
there
have.
is more.
Everybody get out there, pens. I'm giving y'all our dates on the scheduling order. Service
Judge?
plan is approved. Service
Okay.
plan. Yes. Okay. First permanency hearing 9/19. Second, this is weird. Second permanency hearing 12/19. Final trial 3/19. Dismissal date is 4/22/24. Anybody have any objections to the hearings being held via Zoom?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So I said, I approved the service plan, home study on the uncle. Let's home study. Let's see. I thought it was interesting. Maybe Miss Austin or somebody said, if he got Caleb, he'd have to get a job. Well, doesn't that just suck? I mean, I was like, okay. Don't have to get a job for any other reason, I thought that was an interesting comment.
Well, and Judge, that's what the gentleman told me directly.
Okay.
Yes, he told me
Well,
that directly in my conversation with him,
God.
which I'm wondering like, okay, where's your income coming from now? And
Yeah.
And I did not ask him his age. Is he on Social Security? I didn't ask him that. But he is the great uncle, so he could be.
Oh, he's a great uncle. Okay.
Yes, he's he's the uncle of the mother. He's the mother's uncle.
Yeah, if he's living somewhere and not having a job, we might not want to know where he's getting his income. That's a whole other story. But anyway,
He's
Caleb,
living in a travel trailer.
Still, everybody has nice cell phones, but me. So that those are not cheap.
Your Honor,
Caleb and his mom 1 time a week is agreed by CPS and items for 2 hours. Remain in Kingsland if Caleb wants to and is agreed by the placement. So I put Mr. Salvador has to agree to it too, and say with little brother.
So visits are unsupervised 2 hours by agreement in Kingsland.
Remain in Kingsland if Caleb wants to, as agreed by Salvador and with the little brother. Because I don't want, I just think the little brother's sort of a safety net, maybe. Maybe not. I could be wrong.
I wanted to chime in and say that the mom isn't drug testing as well. And so I don't know how, like if she shows up at, to the home impaired or something, I would advise Mr. Soto to not let him take the kids. I would hope.
I'm going to add if mom is not under the influence. I'm adding that. Agreed by everybody, agreed by placement, agreed with Caleb, with the little brother, stay in Kingsland 2 hours, if not under the influence. She could take him to eat somewhere, go to the slab. That's a great place to go. But anyway, just somewhere to swim, Lions Park, there's places to go. Boat Town, Wake Point, Miss Creel, you have a service plan, you have to comply, your parental rights to be subject to termination. Okay, everybody, we're good. Trial today, but Miss Vanna said we're not gonna have a trial today, so I guess we're just gonna have a type hearing. I wrote that Maverick, of course, is with his Conan doing well, having fun, blowing and going. That Mr. Chillette is out at Joshua's house, but has a job, doing good. I wrote mom's kind of mediocre. Dad needs to pay child support, especially if he has a job, and that's what I got. So, Miss Vanna, you may begin.
Thank you, Judge. The department did file a motion for an extension in this case. So we're asking the court to find extraordinary circumstances based on the fact that dad is doing everything he needs to do. We're slowly moving. He's finally got unsupervised visits. He's complying with all of his services. We just need a little more time to see if it's appropriate to return the child. And so we're asking the court to also find that it's in the child's best interest to extend the case. And I did want to update the court. Mom's visits were stopped because we had that mom miss 2 drug tests. However, it looks like Mr. Raphael looked into it and he contacted AMDT. He was informed that mom took the last 2 drug tests, but they apparently threw her samples away because they thought her authorization had expired. So we will ask the court to do a hair sample. So we never got results back, but apparently she did submit to some drug testing because the department stopped her visits for failing to drug test because she also started unsupervised visits. So hopefully we can get all of that cleared up. We do, it looks like, I guess I'll have some questions for mom once we get started. If I could call Miss Miranda Johnson.
You can.
Miss Johnson, where are you currently living?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you say that was in Kingsland?
In Burnett.
In Burnett, okay. Is it true that you did submit the last 2 drug tests?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you willing to take a hair strand test?
Yes, ma'am. I've been asking for that since April.
Are you still going to AA meetings?
Yes, ma'am. Every day almost.
Okay. Have you been providing those sign-in sheets or verifications to Mr. Tovar?
I have filled sheets that I need to send over to him. I haven't done so yet, but I will.
Okay. Can you do that on a weekly basis from now on?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Okay. And when can you get the current ones you have over to Mr. Tovar?
As soon as we're done here.
Okay. Okay. And how often are you going to therapy?
Every week.
Okay. And not bi-weekly?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I've got no further questions.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions, Miss Johnson? No? Okay, next witness, Miss Bannon.
I have just a couple, just so I don't have to ask anything later. You're also in the nurturing parenting class, right, Miranda Lynn?
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing that weekly as well.
And you have a full-time job now?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's in Marble Falls at, what's it called? Outback Party Rentals?
Yes, ma'am. I have a sales position.
Okay. Let's see. And as to getting your driver's license, you said your plan is all you have to do is pay your reinstatement fee and then go take the test. And that's your plan for today. Is to go pay
yes,
the
ma'am.
fee? Okay. And you're renting a room in your friend's house in Burnett, and there's plenty of space. You said it was a really large room and there's 2 beds in there. And so there's plenty of space for the child to visit you there.
Yes, I have a bed, and then I placed a twin bed in there as well.
And you're currently having like 5 hours unsupervised visits.
Yes, ma'am.
And how are those going?
They're going great.
Okay. And are you requesting maybe to get more longer visits or overnight visits?
Yes, I would like overnight visits. I will have 6 months sobriety next week. I've been working my program and working full time. And I would like overnights with Maverick. I really would. Maybe when the hair follicle comes back.
Okay. I pass the witness.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions, Miss Johnson? Mr. Bruce?
Thank you. Ms. Johnson, I applaud your efforts and your progress so far. How much are you making, like weekly or monthly at your current job?
I make approximately $1,100 biweekly.
Okay. You're pretty behind on your child support, right?
Yes, I'm due for this month, and I didn't pay last month. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we got to catch up on that. And I want to
Yes,
see
sir.
you succeed. And I know your child wants to see you succeed, but that's all part of everything you got to do. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Anybody else? Miss
Yeah,
Bannon?
I had a follow-up.
Okay.
Miss Johnson, this friend that you're staying with, are they also sober?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And has the department been out to the home to look at the house yet?
Not yet. I tried to get a hold of Raphael, and I was unable to. But I would like to set that up with either David or Phil, and Raphael as well.
Okay, and you understand that before Maverick could go to your house, that the department and the ad items would have to take a look at it, make sure that it's appropriate and there's, nothing weird going on there. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how many unsupervised visits have you had so far?
2.
Okay. So they pretty much just started. Is that right?
No, I think I've had 3. 3. Yes, ma'am. 3.
Okay. No further questions.
Anybody else? Okay, next witness, Ms. Phantom.
No more witnesses, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Bennett, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Baker.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to call Mr. Shillette real quick. All right, Brad. So you're in your own apartment now, right?
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
You're in your own apartment now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and CASA and attorney ad litem and the caseworker have all been out to your place to look at it?
Raphael and some proteges and Phil Zen has come to see it.
Okay. And there were some things noted by Raphael that needed to be fixed or repaired or changed in your apartment. Could you tell me what those were and tell me whether those have been, whether those repairs and changes have been accomplished?
Well, I mean, other than the plug covers and doorknob covers and cabinet locks, there was a soft spot in the floor in front of the front door, and I fixed that this morning, and I sent him pictures of it.
Okay, so that's been repaired, and the plug covers and cabinet locks and all that, and doorknob covers, that's all been done too.
That has not been done. I mean, I can get them today. I've just been doing things as I go.
Okay, well, let's get that done today, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you currently have unsupervised visits, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many unsupervised have you had?
I don't know, maybe 6 or 7, something like that. I mean, they started a month ago or so.
Isn't it every weekend? Is it every weekend?
It's every weekend. So I mean, they might have started like a month and a half ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
And you have Saturday and Sunday for a couple hours, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you ready for Maverick to stay some overnights with you?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you're asking this court to order today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where are you currently working?
I work for J&B Building Solutions. I've been working there for the last 6 years.
Okay. Have you been previously ordered to pay child support by this court?
Yes, I have.
Are you current?
I am not current.
Okay, how much you to pay every month?
$300.
Okay. All right. Can you work on getting that current?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're ordered to pay it, so you know you got to pay it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And you're not, are you trying to get out of child support, or are you just?
No, I just, well, I mean, I was supposed to send money like last month, but so when my mom came and picked me up for a visit, something's wrong with her battery or something with her truck. And so I bought her a $230 battery for her truck, and I gave her the receipt, and she said she was going to send it to the Maverick's lawyer.
Okay.
So, I mean, that was one of those things that, I mean, I really couldn't wait for her to get,
During your time at Joshua House, was there any period of time where you were out of work when you were in treatment?
The first 2 weeks when I was in sponge mode, and that was it.
Okay. But outside of those 2 weeks, you've been working?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Pass the witness.
Anybody have any questions, Mr. Chillette?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Vanna?
Mr. Shillette, I know that I think both you and Ms. Johnson have some criminal charges and some stuff you're going through. Is that right?
I'm just on probation right now, and that's it.
Okay. And just wondering, is there anything in place where you're not supposed to be around Ms. Johnson or vice versa?
Yeah, through probation, yes.
Okay. And so you understand that it's important for you to comply with all of those orders and terms and conditions. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you could have some severe consequences if you don't. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am. My lawyer has already advised me, and Raphael's talked to me about it. And yeah.
Okay. So, okay, then I have no further questions.
Okay, Mr. Baker, next witness.
I have no other witnesses, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's see. Mr. Zen's not here today. I don't see him. Mr. Fowler, anything Phil's reports are always really good. Anything else you need to add?
The parents up to this point have been doing pretty well. They're staying on track. They've got quite a bit of stuff they need to finish up. Maverick loves his parents so much, both of them really does. And, you know, it's good to see that both parents are working really hard to get their visits increased and to be around such a wonderful little kid. Maverick's got a great support system. Christy, she's doing amazing. Maverick, all we'd like to see is we'll go by and see Miranda's house. Is CPS going to vet also the roommates for overnights before that begins for that location? Okay, all right. I guess that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bruce.
I concur with what Casa has said. I think these parents are doing a pretty good job. They for sure head in the right direction, agree with the need for an extension. The only big point of contention and keeping us going forward is going to be the child support. I'm very hopeful that they'll catch up on it as best they can. I know Ms. Conine really could use those funds. You know, and I'm getting concerns of, the parents want to keep the child overnight and eventually, have them, I'm sure each one want to have long-term, but you got to have the child support if you think it's expensive right now. Whenever you get the child with you, that's a lot more money. So let's kind of establish some good practices and habits right now.
Sir, can you give me that PO box? I get paid today and I can send a payment today. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Mr. Bruce, what are y'all doing visitation wise? Are y'all just working something out with Ms. Conine? What is y'all's, how are y'all doing it?
So I think, what was it, 5 hours every week unsupervised? Yeah, and I think Ms. Conine has a good enough relationship with each of these parents to kind of take those 5 hours.
Okay. Well, here's what I got so far. Grand extension. Everybody get their pens and I'll give y'all our court dates I've been over here working on. Our next permanency hearing is 9/19. Our second one is 11/7, and our final trial is 1/16/24. Our dismissal date is 1/27/24. Does everybody agree that those can all be held via Zoom?
Yes,
If we're able to Zoom after when we hear about the legislative update, FY 8/21/28, Monday, 8/21 on Zoom. Put it on your calendars. Oh, sorry, parents, don't have to worry about that. That's just something I'm going to host on Zoom that day. Mom hair strand by noon on 6/23/23. Parents current on child support by the next hearing, which is 9. Doesn't mean y'all don't have to pay for your support, because you do. You just have to get current on the arrears. And Mr. Bruce can let y'all's respective lawyers know how. Correct, Mr. Bruce?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Once we get Mom's hair strand, we'll be able to make a better plan about visitation. Why don't we just say parents' visitation increased per Ms. Conine, a CPS and Adlai? I don't think that we're having a problem in that arena. Do you think, Mr. Bruce?
No, I think all the parties here can come up with a good plan. I think we've all got the same goals.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may, I just don't want, when we lump parents together, I mean, that's fine. They're both doing good. I'm not suggesting otherwise, but I don't want my clients' overnights to be held up by her drug test if otherwise everyone's ready to go.
I don't think that they are, because they're not together. So he's going to have his visits, she's going to have her visits, and they could be different.
I understand. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, no. And if I have to have a hearing based upon what Mr. Baker's saying, that's not going to make me very happy. So I think y'all can make a plan. I can't remember because I was doing court dates. Mr. Tovar, have you been to where Mr. Chillette lives?
Yes, I have. I have seen his residence.
Okay, that's right. There's some doorknobs and some things like that. That's right. Sorry, knock. Takes me a while. Okay, yeah, no, and when I say increase, y'all can do overnight. However y'all want to do it. I don't know if we're ready for overnights. Maybe all day of 8 hours, doing our baby steps till we get to overnight, and then doing one night, then doing weekend. Y'all know how I like to do that. If we can get that, that'd be great. Miss Vanna?
Judge, can we also request an order for mediation? I think that that might be beneficial in this case, not right now, but in the future. So if we just had that order on, on file and maybe start scheduling towards the end of the year.
Who do y'all want to mediate? Let me see.
I'm okay with Sonia.
Sonia.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, Sonia will work.
we knew what you were saying.
Sonia by the final or before the final.
Yeah, I mean, that's ways off, but I mean, let's just kind of see how things go between now and then. I was going with the mediation order and I'll say placement to attend, okay?
Yes, Judge. And Judge, I'm sorry, when is the mom supposed to take her hair strand by?
6:23 noon.
Thank you.
Okay, parents, I don't know if I already told y'all this because I say it so many times a day. Y'all have a service plan. You have to comply or your parental rights to be subject to discrimination. Okay?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay, well, y'all, this is good news. I mean, the report's good news. Things are progressing and, Maverick said, y'all are doing well. So keep up the good work and hopefully we will be able to get out of this case long before the dismissal date I just told y'all about. And I think we're headed on that track.
Thank
Okay?
you.
If I thought it was bad, we'd be telling y'all it's bad, but things are looking up. Ball's in y'all's court. Thank you, Ms. Lee.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, today is a permanency hearing that we're finally going to have.
Hoy es la audiencia de permanencia que finalmente vamos a tener.
Question that nobody understood was if Miss Sarah could be alone with the children.
La pregunta.
And as far as I'm concerned, at the last hearing, I ordered that Miss Sarah could be alone with the children, as long as she's compliant with her service plan.
Siempre y cuando ella esté cumpliendo con su plan de servicios.
So we got that because Mr. Urbano has to work and we've got little kids at home. Doesn't Genesis, she goes to the Boys and Girls Club though, doesn't she?
Sí,
Yes.
Every day?
¿Va todos los días?
sí.
Yes.
Okay. And where Mr. Leon asked her where the little ones are during the day.
At the at the childcare facility.
That's right. Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay. What CPS? What Ms. Gilmore? What are we doing about therapy? Remind me. We've talked about that a couple of times.
They're seeing Dr. Pam Garcia. And Genesis is getting individual, and then they're doing family as well.
In person or Zoom?
Y pregunta a la juez, ¿es en persona o por Zoom?
I believe it's half and half. But I will
Creo que
have
es mitad y mitad, pero tendría que verificar eso.
Hold on, somebody left. Who left, y'all? Does Miss Garcia speak Spanish, Miss
¿La
Gilmore?
señora García habla español?
Yes, she does.
Sí, sí lo hace.
Good. What? Okay. So, I was going to tell y'all, I talked to the Phoenix Center and they do have a Spanish speaking counselor there now.
Do you know if there's a long waiting list?
I did not get that impression.
A mí no me dio esa impresión, dice la juez.
I can call. I feel like maybe that might be better for at least Genesis.
Well, it's close and I bet they can find a ride. Plus, they have cool camps and all other kind of little day things that she would really enjoy doing, I would think.
I can call. I'll call today and I'll see if there's a waiting list and get at least Genesis in. I can talk about family therapy as well.
Well, it might be more easier for Dad too, since he comes home from Austin. He just comes 71. It's right there. Okay, let's talk about this. We talked about it in a breakout room last time. I think it was in a breakout room. What do we think about Miss Harris? How would your client be if the little ones were home with her during the day?
She said that would be great. She would be able to take care of them.
Eso estaría sensacional. Ella puede hacerse cargo de ellos, cuidarlos.
Okay, what does everybody think about that?
I think that's a great idea.
Yo opino que esa es una muy buena idea, dice Nina Willis.
Okay.
We talked before that that's the way to do it because it's going to be the way it is in the end when we get out of the case. Let's see how it
Dice el
works.
señor Rogers que eso es la forma de hacerlo, porque últimamente al terminar el caso así es como va a ser la realidad.
If you take logistic stressors out, it'll make it easier for them to progress forward.
Yeah. Miss Terry, what do you think?
Señorita Terry, ¿qué piensa?
I think that's a great idea.
Yo creo que es una
To have her at home with the kids.
que ella se quede en casa con los niños.
Miss McClure, what does Miss Wright think?
Well, we
Yeah,
didn't
McClure.
have extensive communication in depth because of her being gone on vacation. I think she does have a concern about eyes on the little ones. And so I think it would probably be prudent to, I guess we're going to have to rely on whatever therapist the littles end up with, or whatever family therapy we end up with that is in person, as kind of a feedback on how the littles are doing, just to make sure that we do have some eyes on other than just the people on the screen.
Well, I don't think they're going to be in therapy because they're 1 and 0. So they're not they're not going to be getting a lot of therapy.
I just assumed they'd be going to the therapy sessions too. So just to have eyes.
I have never officially ordered a monitor return. Have I, y'all?
You have not.
No, ma'am.
No lo ha hecho, señora, no.
Well, if I'm ordered a monitor return, it would be 6 months. And the dismissal date would be end of December, and our dismissal date is already ended. It's Christmas Day. The only reason, one reason I would want to change it to a monitor return is so the department has to go out there every week, and then that could be good eyes on the kids.
Judge, I've also been seeing them every week since I've gotten the case.
Yo también las he estado viendo todas las semanas desde que estoy en el caso, dice la señora Gilmore.
I was hoping maybe you hadn't, and then Genesis would have a better attitude about, letting everybody in a room and stuff.
No, that I have been.
Hold on. Gilmore, do you plan to continue going out there weekly?
Señora Gilmore, ¿usted planea seguir yendo de visita todas las semanas?
I do. However, I've been the last 2 weeks, I've been doing it like where I don't see them for the week, and then I see them that Monday, kind of stretching it out a little bit, but I do see them.
Casa, how often do y'all go up there?
¿Y casa qué tan seguido van para allá?
About every other week.
Well, that's good supervision. Well, I'm going to say the 2 youngest don't have to go to daycare anymore. So Mr. Urbano doesn't need to take them every day. That'll be easier on him.
Bien.
That okay, Mr. Urbano?
¿Está de acuerdo con eso, señor Urbano?
Sí, sí es.
Yes,
Completamente de
yes, it is.
acuerdo.
Completely in agreement with it.
Okay. Genesis remain at Boys and Girls Club though. She needs to have some socialization. She probably has amigas there,
She probably has, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
friends there.
Probablemente ya tiene amigas ahí, ¿eh?
I said amigas.
Eso fue lo que dije. Yo dije, probablemente ya tiene amigas.
Okay, what else we need to do today, guys?
Okay, ¿qué otra cosa tenemos de pendientes para hoy? Sí.
Your Honor, I think we just had one question. I think it's come to the department's attention that there's apparently an additional child, a brother, possibly in El Salvador, that Genesis has been communicating with. Ms. Gilmore, are you any knowledge of that?
No, it was just brought to my attention last week when I was out. So I don't.
Apenas la semana pasada se me hizo saber eso. Y yo
I don't have any information on it.
No tengo ninguna información sobre ello.
Right, and we really didn't either, but we are aware there may be communications between them, and so we just want them to be, appropriate. Obviously, the child is in El Salvador, not part of the case, and I'm not even sure if he's an adult or not. But
Yes, I think it's important to know the age of the child, who the child is, what are they, moms, dads.
Sí, dice que
Should we not use that avenue to serve the father of Genesis and perhaps end up being able to do a termination so that and name Mr. Duran as the conservator of Genesis?
Is the brother Genesis talking to, is her dad Mr. Aguilar?
No.
no. ¿De quién es hijo?
Es mío. Es mi hijo mayor.
He is my son. He's my eldest son.
He has a different dad than Genesis.
Sí.
Yes.
Mr. Leon, ask her if she knows where Humberto Aguilar is.
No.
No.
Any like Mexico, Honduras, any country?
Señora, ¿sabe usted en qué país está?
En El Salvador.
En El Salvador.
Is she married to anybody?
Señora, ¿usted está casada con alguien?
No.
No.
So she has 4 children and they each have a different dad?
Sí.
Yes.
Well, I guess we can't get him served that way. Does Genesis talk to her father, ma'am?
Señora, ¿Génesis habla con su papá?
No.
No.
Does she even know who he is?
¿Y Génesis sabe quién es su padre?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. What does she call Mr. Urbano?
¿Cómo le dice?
Papá.
She calls him dad.
Okay. Any other issues, y'all?
¿Alguna otra cosa?
One more question is, does she know whether Mr. Aguilar is even alive?
Sí. Yo creo
Yes,
sí.
he is. I believe he is.
Okay. Well, then my only order is the 2 youngest stay home with mom. Genesis remain at Boys and Girls Club. Our next permanency hearing is September 13th.
La siguiente audiencia de permanencia es septiembre 13.
CPS will look into the counseling situation for Genesis and the family. Parents, y'all have a service plan. You have to comply or your parental rights can be subject to termination. Nobody else needs anything. Parents, y'all.
¿Nadie más necesita algo?
Did somebody say something?
Yes, Judge.
¿Alguien iba a decir algo?
Oh, Miss
Since
Harris.
since we have the translator here, I just want to make sure that my client doesn't have any new questions.
Mr.
No.
Leon, you asked Mr. Ann. Oh, she's good. They understand everything?
Señora, ¿les queda claro todo? ¿No tienen preguntas?
No, no tenemos preguntas.
Is
No,
Devin
we don't
back
have
at,
any questions.
CWAP? Okay.
No, not that I know of. In fact, I just got a text from Bobby Vidler and asking Mance if he's still in the wind, because that's the last I heard.
Oh, is he not? Oh, that's right. He left the aunt's house, right?
Yeah, and then we
Okay.
couldn't find him.
I have a couple of them I have to keep up with, so I figure out where everybody is. Okay.
And just so you know, I've been emailing with my client in this case, Haley Phillips, all morning, and she's got the link and she's ready to agree to work services. And now, of course, I don't see her.
Ms. Guy, Mr. Cooley said that y'all have an agreement and Ms. San Miguel's client wants DNA, correct?
Yes, ma'am. That's my understanding.
Okay. So it's so it's agreed TMC to the department. Where is the baby placed approximately? Foster, family, etc.
Sarah or Tanisha?
Foster. Okay.
Yeah, well, where are they?
They're in Austin.
They're in Austin, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna order mom to provide personal effects, like we always do. DNA on dad. Are there any family or kinfolk, friends, et cetera, that we need to do a home study on? No. No, none that we know of? Okay. Mr. Cooley and Ms. San Miguel, have y'all's clients executed court-appointed attorney applications yet?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I still don't have access to my clients. I understand that the mom I think has had contact, but I don't have a phone number for him. I don't have any information. We haven't.
I've tried and I've said, let me get his number. Well, he's nervous because there's no DNA, blah, blah. I said, okay, we need his number, but I do not have it, Judge.
Tanisha does have a phone number for him that she can send in an email.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does it work?
I thought he was in jail. Wasn't he in jail and he bonded out?
Yes, ma'am.
So the jail should have info on him, shouldn't they?
Well, I thought he was wanted but he hadn't been picked up yet.
They have since picked him up, was my understanding, but I believe he did make bond.
Oh, well, I mean, I would like to know that because I could have gone to the jail.
Well, I honestly didn't know he was in jail until he was out of jail.
Okay. That happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have any money to do anything, but we can get in and we can get out real quick. So,
Right.
yeah. I'm going to say their court-appointed attorney applications are due by July 1st or the attorneys are released. Provide personal effects, DNA. Status hearings 8/14/23. I don't think we do any visits till we have 3 clean consecutive UAs. Would y'all agree with, I know parents, lawyers don't agree to that, but it lied in this department. Okay.
Mom's already had a visit. I got a visit report about it, whatever they call that thing.
I think she had her little 72-hour one.
Yeah. And Judge, there are some developments. I don't know if it's very new and very recent. Has the department been able to get a hold of anyone to let them know about the health issues?
Sarah or Tanisha?
No, I'm not aware of any health issues.
Okay, I sent an email yesterday. I got a call from the placement, and there's some concerns about hearing. Apparently the baby had some follow-up testing done yesterday, and we didn't get the report till this morning, which I sent out in my email this morning to y'all. We don't have definitive bottom line results yet, but the preliminary results indicate that he may have profound hearing loss.
From the last case, you probably should know the other child of hers ended up being autistic later on
Yes.
down the line. So in case y'all need to know that.
Severely autistic.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. I mean, he has to have 30 hours of therapy every week.
Wow.
That's the grandmother that moved from Hawaii. And I'm in contact with her, and she is in contact with placement of this baby. It broke her heart that she couldn't take this little boy. But Caden requires so many services and so much intervention that she felt like she could not take care of Caden and also take care of this baby. And that was before we found out about the potential hope. And we're not talking about he may need a hearing aid. We're talking about he may have no hope other than a cochlear implant. That is how bad they think it may be.
Wow. Wow. Man, you made me think something and I forgot about it. How's he doing other than, I know that's not good, but how's he doing otherwise?
He is a sweet, happy little boy. She said he's such a good baby. And Jessica, the grandmother, she's very willing to help out in any way she can help out. She's being very supportive. She's offered to help the placement with anything that they need. She's all in to do whatever she can do to help this baby in this placement. It's just there's other concerns as well, because apparently when the nerves in the ear develop, it's around the same time as the kidneys in the heart. And so if there were problems at the time of the development of the nerves in the ear, they also are going to do examinations to make sure his kidneys are okay and his heart is okay, because it's possible if the genetic time is when all this happened, that those could also be affected.
I just remember I was going to ask, and I don't mean to divert from the sad medical deal, but where's CBS and Sky?
Well, Morgan is on vacation, and she's out of the office until Friday.
Okay. Miss Guy, anything else you need?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Cooley, besides the client, let me check the waiting room one more time.
She says she's trying. She's trying to log on. I just contacted her.
Okay. Miss Emma Gale, anything other than DNA on your client once you find him?
DNA and the client.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Fowler?
We would just like to get the medical records from the hospital, and I was left off the email with Ms. McClure's. If I could get that as well, please.
I sent it to CPS first thing so that they could try to get a hold of the parents and everything, but I'll send it to you in a minute. I've just been in hearings all day, but I will send it, David.
Great, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, question.
Says that they're logging on together. Just letting you know.
Could drugs cause this problem?
Yes.
Okay. Or genetics, or just or I don't, we'll see. So they're together, I guess. They're a couple.
Do you mind if I jump in real quick and get his phone number or go to a room at some point?
Yeah, but they're not here, Joey.
Oh, they're not? Okay, I thought when they come on, because otherwise if I don't get it now, then I probably will never get it.
I'm looking.
I don't think they're a couple, Your Honor, but I could certainly be wrong about that. I thought that they were not, but then all of a sudden there's sort of cryptic, well, yeah, I'm in touch with him, and so I'm trying to get as much info and a number from his San Miguel, and I'm just not having any luck.
Well, your version, our version of a couple and their version of a couple could be two different things, you know? So, okay. Do y'all agree that the hearings could be held for y'all via Zoom?
Yes.
Okay. 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 I'm keep looking. Visits after 3 clean consecutive UAs, then as agreed per CPS and ad litem's. I mean, we can sit here for, I don't have, at quarter 2:30, we can sit here for a minute, Miss San Miguel, and see if they show up.
During the last case, was there any ICWA?
Was there what, David? I missed that.
Any ICWA, Native American history or heritage?
Not that I remember. I can open it, but I don't think so.
Look. Beep.
Miss Ingram, can you send me the phone number that you have? And
Here they are, guys. Miss Phillips, is Mr. Aribi there? Yes, okay. Okay, we're finished. Y'all want to go to breakout room with your clients?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, y'all will get a button to press to go to a breakout room, so press that button, okay?
Okay.
That was you, Miss Phillips, correct?
We're back, Judge. I've explained to my client that it sounds like we're going to have a reset, and we've exchanged contact information, so we'll be able to be in touch. Also explained that I'll be forwarding her a court-appointed attorney application, and we'll get that back to you.
Okay, so in both these cases, y'all need to reset?
Yes, ma'am. And we talked about nail tests for the parents in the meantime. And we talked about maybe next Friday for a hearing to give them time for that to come back.
I think you're optimistic.
That's kind of the problem in this case, is that the only allegation of abuse or neglect is potential drug use. My client, the dad, has one clean UA that he's taken. So we don't have any drug abuse evidence.
Well, there's
I think you're optimistic on getting nail tests back in a week. No, today's Tuesday. Maybe.
Actually, I just looked at my calendar. My TRO hearing isn't until 2 p.m. So as long as on Thursday. So as long as we had it in the morning, I'm good.
She said Friday.
I know.
I can't do this.
We need to go to breakout. We're going to breakout room to discuss calendars.
Got it. Sorry.
Discuss calendars in front of everybody. Miss Trinidad, send lawyers and CASA to breakout room, please. Okay, apparently Miss Wheeler and Miss Bennett have been talking to their clients a bunch, which is great. And Miss Dowell's going to talk to Miss Rendon pretty soon and talk to her today. And apparently that the parents want the parents' lawyers want a hair or a nail test done. So I'm going to order the parent, Miss Carrie and Mr. Francis, to submit to a hair and a nail test by 3 p.m. tomorrow as instructed by CPS, with the results to be returned by our next court date, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. The ad litem's and the department need to talk to placements and see if we can work out some virtual contact with the kids. For Nova, I would like the parents to be able to visit virtually with her on the phone or FaceTime, however, Zoom, however everybody wants to do it, on each Tuesday and Friday at 6 o'clock for 10 minutes, and then visit with Remedy the same dates at 6:15 for 10 minutes. I'm going to order that there's no harassing, annoying, alarming, that type of language that's in all the kind of orders, that none of those calls or threats or any of that type of stuff is to occur during this case. I'm going to order that the parents, Miss Carrie and Mr. Francis, are to visit this week for 2 hours supervised at the CPS office on Thursday. Y'all can work out a time. Next week, visit 2 hours on Wednesday, 6/28, 2 hours. And then the next week, July 6th, visit for 2 hours. All the times that can be worked out around everybody's schedule. If those dates don't work, then somebody needs to email me, or y'all work it out amongst yourself. Probably I'd rather y'all work it out amongst yourself, because I know y'all are capable of doing that. Ms. Rendon can visit with Zoe virtually as agreed by the placement. Sounds like that's the way that's already doing anyway. Based upon the nail and the hair test, by the way, y'all can't cut, dye, fake nails, anything like that, your hair, your nails during the pendency of this case, if you already have it, talk to your lawyers about it. But due to the fact that this is going to take a while to do the nail and or the hair test, and everybody's mediation schedules and court schedules and vacation schedules, and we have 2 days of holidays coming up, our next Lampasas date is July 10th. So that's why I did the visitation spread out for the weeks that I did it, plus with the virtual. So the parents will have 3 days of contact per week with the kids. So Ms. Guy, for now, what else do you need?
I think that was all, Judge. Sarah, if you'll just chime in, where did Sarah go? Oh, there she is. Sarah, if you'll just chime in if there was anything that was missed.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, thank you. Miss Bennett.
I just wanted to clarify, you said the parents' attorneys asked for the nail test, and we actually asked to do the hair test, not the nail test. I just wanted to be clear.
Okay. I took a good line of mess to do the nail test. Okay.
Yes, so.
Okay. Also, that made me think of something else. The parents' court-appointed attorney applications are due by July 1st, or I won't know if the parents are entitled to court-appointed attorneys. And if I don't have those by July 1st, that everybody's released. But I think Ms. Wheeler and Ms. Bennett, I think I approved y'all earlier today.
Yes,
okay.
That was this morning, Judge. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I do those all days. I get confused. So Ms. Dowdle, that's for your client. So that's good.
And I just wanted to update the court. I mean, as you can see, my client her hair is dyed red, but there is a little bit that is brown. I mean, she won't dye it again right now, but I mean, she has a chunk that's not dyed or anything, and then it's red. And then she also, hold your hands up. Do you have fake nails right now? Are they?
They look real. They're fake.
She's shaking her head. They're fake. Take it off mute, Ashley.
Yes, ma'am. They're fake nails. They're acrylics.
What about your toenails?
I get them done as well. I can send the place I go to, Happy Nails in Cove.
Okay. Well, Miss Bennett, y'all gonna have to figure that one out. So
I've been doing it for about 4 years now, so I don't know if that's gonna change anything.
I mean, I can just have her go to the place and they can look and see if they're able to do it or not. So, I mean, other than that, she could just, stop doing them for right now.
Is your order for a hair strand and a nail test?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then what's the by what date?
Tomorrow at noon.
Tomorrow
at noon.
I want to get the result. We're getting the results back before this. It takes about 2 weeks.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I'm going to send you separate orders for the hair.
Tomorrow at 3. Okay.
Anyway, I just wanted to let the court know I will send to my client, and there shouldn't be any issue with her hair, but just like I said, the nails, if they can do it, they can do it. But I just wanted the court to know up front today, it's not something that she did later after getting the order.
Okay.
And that's all that I have, I think.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Wheeler. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to clarify for the record as well that as a parent's attorney, I did not request for any more drug tests. My client is a non-offending father who is tested clean on a UA, and so there's presently no evidence against him as being a drug user. And so for the record, my client wants his kids back yesterday.
Okay. Well, we can work on all this and see where it comes out and figure that out. So that's good. It's good we're going to do this. Ms. Dowdle.
Nothing, Your Honor. My client, like I said, she's good with the placement, and just as long as she has unlimited access, has worked out with the placement, and Zoe, I'm good with that for right now.
Okay, and y'all visit about if there's any prior orders involving Zoe also.
I will.
Ms. Welch, anything on behalf of CASA? You're good. Okay, thank you. Ms. Darby.
I'm good, Judge. Kids are good.
Okay. Yep. Okay, well, sounds like everybody has cute kids, and y'all get this nail and hair testing done, and we can go from there. And I'll see y'all lawyers and CASA. Everybody agrees to Zoom on 7/10.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll be in recess. Everybody in Lampasas can.
Judge, I'm going to send